Hey guys, I hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day. My name's Kasim, and in this video I'm going to be answering a question that I've been asked so many times in the last few weeks, and that is, which online business model did I start and build when I was 18 in high school with no money whatsoever, no knowledge or skills in anything, feeling really lost in life, to then after a year going on to make $50,000 per month. I then moved to Dubai at 18, lived there for about a year and a half, bought my parents their dream car, which was a Tesla, traveled around the world, lived in Thailand and then lived in Bali, and could pretty much do whatever I wanted to. But most importantly, also this business acted as a stepping stone for me to have the knowledge, the money, the skills, the team to then build the business that I really wanted to build, which could then go on to make me millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. So I'm going to walk you guys through the entire business model, why I started it, how I started it, then also how you can start it as well. I'm going to break down the steps of how you can get started and go on to build it for yourself. Let's go through it. So guys, in this doc, we're going to be going through the business model that I built at 18 in high school called a growth partner agency. To give you guys some context, where I was before starting my growth partner agency, the first thing was I was completely broke, had no money whatsoever, had no way of making money, so I couldn't invest into any sort of business or program or course. Second thing is I had no skills or valuable knowledge in anything whatsoever, so I couldn't sell what I know. Nothing that I knew was really valuable. Third thing was I had massive dreams. I knew that I wanted to become a multimillionaire, but I had no idea what path I would take to get there. Now, let's fast forward 1 year after starting my growth partner agency. Where I was the first thing was I was financially abundant completely. I had a business, my agency, making me tens of thousands per month, so I could do anything that I wanted to do. That's why I moved to Dubai. I bought my parents their dream car, which was a Tesla. I traveled around the world, lived in Bali and everything like this, and that's all because of my agency. And I developed a lot of skills and became an expert in a very, very big industry. And I'll explain what industry that is in a minute. So through building my agency, I learned all the key skills that I needed in life, and I gained really, really valuable knowledge that made me valuable to other people. Third thing is I gained complete clarity on how I was going to go and create generational wealth. I knew the path that I was going to take my long-term vision to. I knew what businesses I was going to build in the future that were going to make me tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of pounds, and how I was going to build them. So what was the first step? How did I actually get started with this? The first thing you have to do, and the first thing that I did, was I first developed a long-term vision. So I knew that I didn't just want to start a business that was making me decent money online. I didn't just care about 10K a month or 5K a month. I wanted to become a multi-millionaire. So I knew my first business had to just be a stepping stone for me to get there. Had to be a vehicle to push me down a long-term vision so I can start a big business. So the questions I asked myself to understand what my long-term vision was I asked myself, what type of company do I want to build in the future that will make me millions online? What excites me? What do I think is cool? What do I see an example of and think, oh no, I wish I could have a company like that? You know, that's what I looked for. And what industry is that company in? And is that industry that the company is in going to be one of the biggest industries in the future? It's a really important thing here to think, is this industry going to not die out if, for example, if the economy, you know, goes south, or there's a new pandemic or whatever it can be, is this going to be a part of the future? So my first big idea that aligned with all of these questions was e-commerce. So pretty much just building a massive brand that sells physical products all over the world. Now, why was that my choice, my first choice? The first thing was I read how much e-commerce was growing massively during the pandemic, because I started this in the pandemic. So I knew that it was going to be a big part of the future. So I wanted to be a part of the future rather than being a part of the past. I like the idea also as well of having a brand, my own brand, with products that I like, that I use myself, that people all around the world love, you know, selling stuff all around the world rather than just being local. I saw how many e-commerce brands were making tens of millions per year. I was reading articles, seeing them myself, seeing how cool they were, and I knew it worked. The last thing was I saw how little profit, and I became aware of how little profit local businesses make, especially when things get tough. And I never wanted to be stuck in an industry that was stuck to a certain location or just small in general. I wanted to be have a company that sold worldwide, that wasn't going to be affected by any sort of economic crisis or pandemic. So the other industries I also thought of that weren't e-commerce. The second one was info products and e-learning companies. So these are companies that sell information or digital products rather than physical online. Third one is SaaS, software as an app, service as a software, and apps. So companies that sell softwares and apps that help people in their day-to-day life. So how do you enter an industry this big? You know, it's a pretty hard thing if you have no prior experience, if you have no company before, if you didn't work up a corporate ladder, if you didn't go to university, which is like, I didn't do any of those things. So to enter an industry that big with no money, no skills, no knowledge, it meant you couldn't start with building one of those companies. You can't just come from a place of having no knowledge, no money whatsoever, and start an e-commerce brand or start an info product company. Instead, you first solve the problems that you have yourself, which is no money, skills, or knowledge, by building a business that solves a problem or multiple problems or provides a service for the type of company that you want to start in the future. And that's what what's the biggest problem that all these companies have that they'll pay you a lot of money to solve is growth. Every company wants to grow, generate more sales, make more money. Doesn't matter how big they are, what industry they're in. They all want to become the best, most well-known in their market, in their space. And I also saw on YouTube, and I looked online at the time, and I saw a lot of people that they had agencies where they were selling pretty basic services that they could only charge small amounts for, like $500, $1K a month. And I already knew at that time, I was like, I don't want to start a business where I need to have 10 or 20 clients just to make a number like 10K a month. Because 10K a month in the grand scheme of things doesn't really get you anywhere when it comes to creating generational wealth. So what is the best way of working with these types of companies, e-commerce brands in my example, where I can charge 5 to 10K a month, because that is real money. Instead, and they'd want to pay me that happily rather than just coming on for 1-2 months and then leaving. The way I do it is I solve lots of small problems for them, take care of multiple aspects of their marketing, because marketing is how they grow. And instead of just being a service provider, I wanted to have respect in their eyes. I want them to respect me, so that it makes total sense for them to pay me numbers like 5 to 10K per month and let me handle a massive part of their business, which obviously marketing is probably one of the biggest parts of their business. So instead of just providing single basic services, what I do is I instead partner with these types of companies to help them grow through the platform or method that I've chosen that they aren't utilizing fully yet. And the example for an e-commerce brand is every brand knows that they need to utilize TikTok, they need to utilize content, social media to properly if they want to grow quickly. So instead of just selling single services that are pretty basic, for example, if you are like producing just TikTok content for their ads or their normal organic account, running just ads for them, just finding and working with influencers, rather than doing each one of them by themselves and having that as my whole agency, where I could only charge small amounts to do these things, and I wouldn't really be solving a big problem for them. Why don't I go ahead and build a process of everything that a brand would need to do to grow on TikTok and generate sales? So pretty much that is called a growth system. That's what a process of growth is. So with this growth system that I build, which isn't a hard thing to do, I can go on and solve all of the problems of growing through TikTok. And I can just build a team to do that all for me rather than doing it all myself. So instead of just being a one-man band, I run an agency. And that's where the name comes from, of the business model, Growth Partner Agency. It's an agency that partners with big companies and helps them grow by implementing your unique growth system while getting paid 5 to 10K per month plus a percentage of the revenue that you generate to do it. So what are the steps to actually go ahead and do this, build this business model with no money, no knowledge or skills, which is obviously where I started out? The first step is choosing your ideal client and method of growth. So you need to choose a company that you want to work with, which is called an ideal client. And second thing is you need to choose a method of growth, a platform like TikTok, a certain strategy within TikTok maybe, that you want to implement to help grow these types of companies. And the way that you actually go ahead and do this is, the first thing is you want to look up different types of companies in this industry that you've chosen. And seeing which type of company you like and align with the most. So if you look at all these companies in this industry, you think, oh, that company's really cool, I wish I could have this. That's the type of company you should work with because you would enjoy working with them the most. Second thing is looking at how the top companies in this industry are growing and what they're implementing. For example, if it's an e-commerce brand with TikTok, what are brands posting on TikTok? What are brands using? What kind of videos are they using on their ads? How are they working with influencers? What kind of posts are they posting? You need to see what they're doing on social media, especially to grow, especially the top companies in that industry. Then you'll know, okay, I can reverse engineer that to then understand how these companies can grow, how I can take a company that hasn't done that yet and help them do it. So some examples for the top 3 industries when it comes to e-commerce: the fastest growing e-commerce brands that have low to mid ticket products are utilizing first thing is authentic content that's made by a creator for their organic posts on their TikTok account and their ad videos. Second thing is they're running paid video ads on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram. Third thing is they're working with creators, people that create content, and influencers as affiliates for their brand. So they're selling the products for them. So when it comes to info products and e-learning, that industry, the fastest growing companies, creators, and coaches that are selling info products online, they're utilizing long form and short form content on all platforms that is produced to go viral. Second thing is they're building low ticket monthly subscription communities on platforms like School to nurture customers. And the third thing is they use appointment setters, which are like VAs, virtual assistants, following processes that they've built to turn Instagram DMs into conversations into paying customers. And with SaaS and app, it's a very similar process as well. They use this similar sort of thing. So you need to know this so that you can go on to the next step, which is step 2 of becoming an expert in the growing. So you need to know this so you can go on to the next step, which is becoming an expert in growing the type of company that you've chosen. Now, this is the most important step in this whole thing, because without this, you have no value to share. And a lot of people make the big mistake, and they have a common misconception that you need to have clients in order to be an expert in what it is you're going to be providing. But that is completely false. You can become an expert without having a client by simply doing the following, right? So the first thing is you need to follow anyone online that is making content about the industry and also especially the method of growth that you're interested in. And you need to study all of their content, and the best places for this in terms of platforms is you need to go on Twitter or X and YouTube. Find anybody that's making content on the industry or the type of method of growth that you want to learn about, and follow them, study their content. So for example, for me, I would go onto Twitter, find anyone that's posting, and there's a lot of guys posting about everything. Find guys posting about how brands can grow on TikTok, how brands can go viral on TikTok, how brands can get better results with their ads, and I'd study their content, because then I can actually understand and gain their knowledge, which is the knowledge that they've gained through having clients. So I don't need to have clients anymore. Second thing is you need to find some companies in the chosen industry that are successful, and you need to analyze what they're implementing. Like we talked about before, you need to analyze what they're doing on these platforms, how they're posting, how what the content looks like, so you can reverse engineer their strategies, and then you can know, okay, this is what the top companies are doing, so this is what I would do with a company that wants to become a top company in the industry. And what you do is you collect all this information and knowledge, and you turn it and put it into one place, which is what I call a growth hub. It's just a place, for example, on Docs, or I use platforms like Notion and ClickUp, and I build processes, save examples of what I found, I break down things that I found, I reverse engineer strategies, and also save advice that I find from these guys on social media on how I can implement what I've learned. Now, this will give you the confidence to tell a potential client what they need to implement. So then you can move on to step 3, which is building your growth system and your offers. So the next step is building your offer proposal docs. Now, what these do is they break down exactly what you'll implement for a client and why it's the best option for them to work with you over any other alternative option they have. That could be working with other people, other agencies, could be even hiring an in-house team themselves. You have to show that you're the best option. So what you first have to do is you have to develop your own unique growth system. Now, this is a 3-phase process you've built using the knowledge that you've gained from social media, from learning, from studying, and this knowledge is how to take your ideal client from where they are to where they want to be. So where they are meaning that they're not growing or generating sales through the chosen method that you've chosen, to where they want to be, which is growing rapidly and generating a lot of sales through your chosen method. Now, there's 3 phases of a growth system. The first phase is the setup and launch, pretty much where you, as an agency, will get everything set up and launched. So, for example, you create content, you prepare the ads, blah, blah, blah. Second thing is you test, optimize, and diversify. So what that means, for example, for me would mean I would test the content and also test the ad performance when I run the ads, try multiple platforms. So instead of just TikTok, I would try Facebook and Instagram too. Optimize for what's working best. So wherever I see is performing the best, I just double down on that. And then the third phase is scaling and testing new strategies. So scaling what is working by doing more of it. You spend more, you ask them for more budget when it comes to the ads. You produce more content, and maybe even test different things, new growth strategies. So your main offer when it comes to your offering to these adult clients is going to be called a growth partnership. So pretty much this is where you partner with them to implement your growth system. In the proposal doc, you want to structure this proposal like this. The first thing is you introduce yourself and you give a background on you and your agency. Second thing is you walk through all the alternative options that they have. That could be working with other types of agencies or multiple agencies to do the one thing. Could be, hiring an in-house team themselves, could be hiring freelancers, wherever it could be. You point out all the cons of the alternative options. Could be how much they cost, could be how expensive they are, could be how inefficient they are, could be how hard it will be to do it all. Then you would break down how much it would cost to reach their goals using any alternative options. So you show how expensive and not cost effective it would be. What this is doing is creating a problem in their mind. Like, okay, I actually wanted to grow my brand through TikTok, and this guy's showing me proof almost of how it's not going to be easy. So it's creating a problem in their head. And then what you do, you come in with a solution. And the solution is your growth system. So you walk them through your growth system and show them all the pros of why it's the best option for them. And you break down the cost of working with you on a partnership basis, and you kind of point out why it's very cost effective when it comes to how much you're doing for them. So once you've built your proposal, you can now move on to building your client acquisition system, which is how you do your outreach to ideal clients and booking calls with them, so you can go on to close them on working with you and pay you 5 to 10k per month. So step 4 is, of course, building your client acquisition system. So how do you actually reach out and booking calls with your ideal clients? Overall, how you do that is by you reach out in the most authentic and genuine way, offering valuable advice for nothing in return. So that when you at some point mention that you'd be happy to jump on call to offer them more advice, they jump at the chance, and they actually appreciate your effort of reaching out to them, rather than just thinking that you're some sort of salesperson trying to close them on some sort of deal. So how do you actually do that? The first thing you have to do is you have to find a platform that your ideal client will actually respond to the easiest, and the platform that you can build the most trust on with the least effort. So for the most type of ideal clients, especially e-commerce brands, SaaS companies, whatever it could be, and actually all industries, this will always be Instagram. Now, why? Because you can make your profile look trustable with all the content you post on it and whatever else you do with it, the bio, the link in bio, the profile picture. You can make yourself look as genuine as possible with no effort. So it's kind of like when they see that, it's hard for them not to reply if you've given them a very, very simple, ask. So the second thing you do is you send your ideal client a message telling them that you've made a video for them where you showed them what they need to implement to see growth in the way that they want to see it, and that you just need the right. Now, the second thing is you need to send your ideal client a message telling them that you've made a video for them. Pretty much this video is where you showed them what they need to be implementing to see the growth that they want to see, and that you just need the right email to send it to. So all you're asking them in that message is what email is best to send this video to. Then when you get a reply, obviously you get the email address, you send across the Loom video through email. And then in this Loom video, which is like a recording just like this, you show examples of what they should implement and how they can do it at the end, offering them to jump on a Zoom call so you can kind of dive deeper into that advice and give them more advice and help them out in a bit more detail. And then when it comes to the emails, you follow up with them via email until they watch the video, and then also until they book in a call. So you don't stop following up with them. So how do you close them on the call? First thing is you have a genuine, friendly conversation, you build rapport and trust. At some point in the call, you'll walk them through your growth partnership proposal doc, which obviously makes them believe that you're the best option for them. Then at some point, they will ask you, if you do it this way properly, how can we move forward? I'd like to get started. And then when they say that, you go ahead and send them the processing link, a payment processing link, and you get paid numbers like this. For example, for here, I think this is like 7.5k per month. This is like 5.5k per month in dollars. And the last thing you do is you onboard them as a client, and then you start working with them. So obviously step 5 now is how do you build your team and fulfill your services. So obviously now that you've signed all these clients, you have all that cash, you can now build your own team and help your clients grow. So what team members do you actually need? The first team member you'll need is going to be an outreach operator. This is a specifically trained virtual assistant that manages your entire outreach process for you. So you can focus on getting results for your clients and managing the business, while this outreach operator is bringing new clients pretty much on autopilot. The second team member you'll need is going to be a fulfillment operator. This is a specially trained team member, can be from anywhere in the world, that has learned how to do the day-to-day tasks to fulfill your clients and the services you provide for your clients. So you can just focus on the more high-level strategy. You don't have to be working as an employee every single day, doing everything for them. You have a team member to do that. Now, both of these team members should be low cost, and they should be paid on a freelancer format or freelancer way. So it's kind of like per project or per thing they do. So you don't have to be paid some sort of like high monthly salary straight away. Your profit margin should always be 70 to 80% with this business model. Now, how do you actually go and hire team members? You create a job post, what the role is, what kind of personality you're looking for, which is always kind of like a likable personality that is ready to learn, work hard. You post a job post on all these platforms, so LinkedIn, Upwork, Facebook groups as well. And number 3 is you do interviews with the best applicants, and then you hire your favorite one, and that's you got your team members. Now, how do you actually go and fulfill your services? The first thing is you just follow the growth system that you built yourself. That's pretty much why you built it. It's a roadmap for you to actually get your client from where they are to where they want to be. So you obviously adapt it for the specific needs of each client you work with. Number 2 is you come up with a strategy and a growth plan for each client. You work with each team member to get that work done. So your team members are doing kind of the day-to-day tasks, and you're kind of like steering the boat. You're making sure they're going in the right direction, and you're coming up with a strategy for them. And number 4 is whenever you get stuck, you just seek advice online. There's so many experts in every small thing. You can very easily join Facebook groups. You can join communities, look online, and just seek advice. And just obviously you've got the money now, so you can just like pay them for an hour of their time and ask them how to do what it is you can't do yet. So if you do all of this, what I talked about, you sign 1 to 2 clients per month, which is very, very, very doable. And within 1 year, you'll have a growth partner agency making over 50K per month profit. Over 50K per month, just like I have. You can see below. This is actually well over 50K per month, but you can see it as a good example. I think this is probably like around 65 to 66, maybe even more than that in dollars, but it's a good number, alhamdulillah. So, and after hitting numbers like that, which is what we talked about before, this is a very important part of this. You'll have multiple case studies of how you've helped your type of companies grow. You'll have the knowledge and the skills needed to grow this type of company, as well as the team to help you do it. You have everything you need to then, you can now within 1 to 2 years of starting your growth partner agency, go on to build your next step in your long-term vision. So the big company that in that big industry could be e-commerce, info products, SaaS and app, that will go on to make you millions, if not tens of millions in the future. And that's the big point of this business model, to act as that vehicle for you to push you down that long-term vision, give you the cash, give you the team, give you the knowledge, give you the skills, so you can go ahead straight away, just like I am now. I'm at that point now where I can now go ahead and start an e-commerce brand and know everything I need to do to grow that company quickly and have the brand that I always dreamt of. So guys, I hope you really enjoyed. If you guys want this document that I went through, I'm happy to give it to you. I want everyone to go ahead and DM me on Instagram. Just tell me that you came from this video. My Instagram is @KasimAkram, like you see it here. And it's also, if you have any questions from this video as well, go ahead and ask me as well. But just go ahead and DM me. Everyone just DM me Doc. Go ahead on Instagram right now. DM me Doc, and I'll go ahead and send you the link to this back, and you can go through this yourself. And also as well, if you ever have any questions about anything, go ahead and ask me on Instagram. I'm an open book. If you find my Instagram, message me, and I'll get back to you with a voice note whenever I can. So, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope you found this valuable. And I'm going to be posting a lot more videos like this as well. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and also if any other videos that you would like me to make come to mind, put that in the comments below. Let me know how you found this video in the comments too. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe and also like the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you, guys.